Zoe Stewart Lewis, the James A. Sherlock, MD, Endowed Director for University Hospitals Transplant Institute, and of course, Browns legend, Bernie Kosar. Bernie, it's been an honor to take care of you over the past few months. What I hope you realize is that the cutting edge, compassionate care, the attention to detail that you receive is the care that all of our patients receive here at University Hospitals. Our caregivers are at the heart and soul of this organization. We're very proud of what they do, and we're very proud for helping you get to where you are today. I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Stewart Lewis for her comments.
Thanks, everyone. I've gotten to know Bernie very well for the last year and a half. He's been working with our transplant program a little bit longer than that, and we're very excited and proud that he chose to receive his care and his transplant ultimately with our team. We're incredibly proud, as Stathis noted, of our liver transplant program's outcomes. Like many patients, the road to transplant was filled with a lot of bumps and some false starts along the way that were really very much an emotional roller coaster, I think, for any patient. I think most in this room are aware that prior to the actual successful transplant done last week, we actually had admitted Bernie 2 different times for potential transplants. And unfortunately, for different reasons, those donor organs were not suitable to proceed with transplant. That happens to many of our patients, and it's really, really tough to make that emotional transition. So last weekend, we did ultimately receive a good organ offer for Bernie. Our team did go and recover the donor organ. We brought the organ back here, and we placed it on machine perfusion, and it pumped overnight here at our center and ultimately went to the OR in the early morning and had a really uneventful, thankfully, transplant surgery. His surgery took about 5 hours for the actual operation, and he was one of our few patients who was able to have his breathing tube removed in the operating room at the conclusion, and I think most of you saw he's had a very smooth recovery since then. And we're excited he's going to be going home today in time for his birthday and Thanksgiving with his family.
Wow, I can't tell you how excited I am and how professional these two are and the whole UH team. And the modesty that they're saying right there is just completely underselling their attention to detail, their compassionate care. And I hadn't planned on saying this, but how you had said your attention to detail, football taught you, and the good football coaches taught me and resonates in me. How you do little things is how you do all things. It's so imperative to win in a football game and win in life. I didn't think it would be so imperative to my life care. And what you do, it isn't just words and service here, or lip service here. You guys really do provide it. And I want to stay calm and look mature and professional. Amazing that I could feel this good and from that. But the care that you did, Dr. Zoe, and just artistic, and the way to be able to be this, feeling this good, this quick. And I don't want to get over-amplified, and Dr. Zoe kind of alluded to it, but it's kind of been a rough 2-year process. And not to amplify a situation, but really the last 3 months in particular have been even more deteriorating. So to almost not be around here much over the last 90 days and to somewhat get close to the other side of things, in no way did I think I'd be sitting here on Thanksgiving week, victory Monday for the Browns on a victory road win, but even more so what a real victory it is for me. You know, to be able to come out on Thanksgiving week. I've never really been into my birthdays, but you know, my birthday tomorrow, I didn't really think I was going to be alive for my 62nd birthday. And here I am walking out of the hospital. Like if we don't do all this, I don't even have to tell you I had a liver transplant. And I could sit here and enunciate, articulate, communicate back when I was BSing through press conferences on game plans for guys. So that ability to be cognitively present and to be able to have that gift on Thanksgiving week with my birthday coming out, I just couldn't be any more blessed right now. And to see the outpouring of support, the fans, the messages, the prayers, heck, even this things with the GoFundMe, to see people now, like the cool Browns fans with these like $19 donations, heck, Ray Lewis, Canes for Life, Ray said he couldn't do 19, So he did $57 because he likes to, that was his number for sacking me and stuff. Those type things are so humbling, and to see the people that really care and are there for you. But I wouldn't be able to be here without all that support, and that's really fueled me from within. So I can't thank everybody enough. And when I say on Thanksgiving week or Victory Monday or birthday week, you matter, God, do I really mean it this time. Thank you so much, everyone. You matter.
Doctor, I'm sure you see a variety of patients on the needs spectrum. Where was Bernie?
Yeah, so liver disease is really a cruel disease. The way that the transplant system here works is patients are assigned a score called the MELD score, and it's calculated from some lab values. And the higher a patient's MELD score goes, the higher they are on the organ offer list. Unfortunately, we do see some patients like Bernie, many patients actually, where their MELD score, it's high, but not really quite high enough to always put them in contention for maybe the most common organ offers. And the patients become very underserved by that score. And that's the situation where he was in. I think people are aware he was in the hospital with life-threatening bleeding complications, needed 5-6 interventions that last sort of 8 to 9 days. And, he still didn't necessarily have the highest MELD score, but he was incredibly sick. And he's spoken about this as well. For months now, he's been needing almost weekly what we call paracenteses, which is having removed fluid off of the abdomen. He was having 9-10 liters a week removed. And it's incredible. It takes an incredible toll on the patient. And it also makes them very severely malnourished. And we've all been, he's probably tired of hearing us all tell him to eat more and keep eating and keep pushing the calories. It's not that the patients aren't doing that, it's that their body can't hold on to that nutrition.
What's next for him?
Yeah. So he'll be on our kind of routine follow-up. So we see patients once a week for a couple visits. Lots of blood testing. We take very close monitoring. So blood work twice a week typically to make sure we're having a tight hold on what's going on as he and the new organ get used to each other. But that's kind of a routine thing. And then the further and further out you get from the transplant, the less and less he has to see us. And the less
You're stuck
blood work.
with me, though.
Yeah.
Were you pleased with the match from the donor with Bernie?
Yeah, so liver matching, there's kind of two major things we need to look at. Blood type has to, of course, be compatible, and then size matching. Bernie was one of our patients where he's a tall guy, right? He's a big guy, so size becomes less of an issue. Sometimes for our smaller, more petite women who need a liver transplant, they can really struggle to find a liver that's suitable size from a deceased donor. And a lot of people often ask, well, can't you, if the liver was from a potential donor too large, could you just try to, reduce it, make it a little bit smaller, and then do the transplant? That doesn't really work in an acute transplant setting quite the same way. And so again, he was fortunate in that we didn't have too much concern about size for him. We knew pretty much any liver would be size compatible. It was really having that right blood type fit for him.
Dr. Bernie's been one not to listen to coaches from time to time. What's your advice to him as he walks out these doors?
Well, I can only speak to how I've known him for the last 18 months as a patient, and he's been the ultimate in compliance as a patient. He's the model patient. I would love for every patient to be, just like Bernie. He really does, and take to heart the things that have been asked of him along the way, and he really is super compliant and really appreciative of this, new chance or the new gift. I don't know, he'll be embarrassed if I tell you this, but he had asked me on Saturday morning if he could do some stairs, as part of his rehab. When I came in and talked to him yesterday morning, he proudly announced that he had done 30 flights of stairs the day before. And I was like, we could perhaps pace a little bit slower into this. But that just, kind of tells you where he's at with things.
And if I could say one thing to that is, she's being so modest, and I'm not trying to just stroke you, but she's a superstar. To do that type of surgery in 5 hours and to cavalierly say, with the Cavaliers here, that the ventilator was taken out and breathing on your own is one thing. But also then from a professional standpoint, she does coach me up as to proper legal things to do. And that part sometimes, John's correct, I am not overly sometimes coachable about or make mistakes. And one of the things that I'm cognizant of for you, because I'm so thankful for UH and what our family's done for me here, is that there's some rules in place around the donor and how I'm allowed to talk about that. And the University Hospital is a little bit tied in terms of talking about that for 30 days, and I think I am a little bit too. But rest assured that we don't live in a coffin, and I absolutely know what's going on, I believe, and I am so thankful to Bryce Dunlop and their family and what's going on, and with this opportunity and blessing, this second chance in life, that rest assured that that's something that's never going to be forgotten. And absolutely, when you say it lives within me, it genuinely lives within me. And I heard Kimberly, the awesome mother, said now that I have a second mother. My mother's here somewhere, so she has a challenger now for that. But rest assured that we're going to do special things together.
Bernie, take me back 2 weeks ago when you were going through those multiple procedures, sometimes 2 a day, sometimes they had to delay so your blood pressure would come up so you were strong enough. You've always been a positive person, but did it begin to enter your mind that maybe this is bigger than me?
So part of it, and again, I'm not trying to amplify a story, and I'm not trying to embellish and sensationalize anything. There was no way I thought I was going to be here for my 62nd birthday. There's no way I thought I was going to be healthy, let alone walking out of here. So the thoughts, the dark, the positive stuff that I put out, the way I do live, the way I do think, I believe, feel some karmic spirituality of that, because bluntly, 3 months ago, 10 weeks ago, when that stuff really amplified into a rapid deterioration of my body, the realistic side, the business side of me had in me, there's no way I'm going to be alive. And I should have kind of maybe lost it at a couple of the instances. So to be given a miracle, I mean, genuinely a miracle. If you did a Disney movie on this, me and my awesome daughter are here, we love the Disney Channel this time of the year, you would say it's unrealistic, it's unbelievable, it's too Disney-ish, it's too AMC. But I'm living it right now, and I'm going to continue, spreading that message. And when we won the national championship in 1983 with Howard Snellenberger, he used to say, how you do little things is how you do all things, and to believe is to be strong. And when you really believe, you could create positive spirituality, and you could almost manifest really positive things happening. So I'm going to continue living in that dream state of positive manifestation, because it's absolutely, I feel like I'm a walking miracle for that. And I want to be able now, yes, I want to be able to help with it, but I also believe it's almost a responsibility. This isn't like a gift you could be given, and now you get to choose when you get to want to give it or pick it. There's so many people hurting. And when I go into the transplant list, and when I was feeling bad 10, 11 weeks ago, feeling sorry for myself, thinking I'm the worst person in the world, the sickest one, and then I see all of her patients, and I'm still the top 10 looking guys doing good. There's so many more people in even worse situations than the dire situation I was in. So somehow, some way, the Jimmy Johnson line that I thought was just for football, Coach Johnson still stuck in my head. Somehow, some way, we're going to keep going and moving forward and spreading that positive message to bring genuine positive help to people, families, and the communities we touch every day.
On that note, Doctor, when there are high-profile transplants, it does, I would imagine, increase interest in organ donation. What do you see something like this meaning for other potential transplant patients that are waiting? Do you see an influx of donors?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit difficult to assess necessarily like the influx, but I definitely hope. I think any, successful transplant where you have somebody out there and living what a transformative what it means for the recipient. I only can hope, we all hope, that more people are going to recognize the need to be an organ donor, and that it really is, you're saving lives, saving many patients' lives, each organ donor. And it just, you can't say that enough. So I think anything that can spread that word is huge.
Yeah, and absolutely. I was that guy. I kind of heard Bryce was maybe that guy. When you go to get your license renewal and you get those line of questions, that tends to just be a standard question. In my past, sometimes I thought about it and, you say yes or no, but now, oh God, it's easy to say yes, and you get to see the ramifications and the possibilities that you could do for people. And Dr. Zoe used the word transformative. It's a transformative difference you could make in people's lives.
So we have time for one more question, and then we got to.
Bernie, you've been really transparent this entire time, kind of keeping everyone, the fans, kind of in the loop of what's been going on with you and your battle here. I mean, even just doing this today, a week after surgery, letting people know. Why is that something that's so important to you?
So I think part of it was, one, so many people are out there caring, praying, wanting to know what's going on. So it's almost impossible. Sorry, everybody. It's impossible to individually text and call and spend the time that everybody wants to spend with it. So part of it is informational, just so my friends, family, people, the fans could kind of hear, what's going on with it. And that was kind of part of it to start with. But then as it started gravitating and taking shape, and some of the stuff we're saying today, there's so many people now that are masking perfection. And we're all trying to claim that we're great. And the holidays are coming, and we want to have a utopian Disney experience holidays. In reality is probably none of us all have exactly that within our families and our personal lives. And there always are bumps and kinks in the road. And being able to show that whatever level we're at, we all have these bumps, kinks in the road that we got to address, and it's okay to not be perfect and to be able to show your vulnerable self. Now, then that's something maybe I did a little too much of, but really it was, I think, somewhat therapeutic for myself and very therapeutic, I think, for the people following, because it's almost now like there's people that are following this and they're living day to day as to how to get by with this. So it's almost a responsibility now to kind of keep people informed. And like I said, look at my number 19 here in front of us. The simple little things like a $19 wish to be part of our club like that. Ray Lewis with 57, like that. Those are kind of cool, significant things that you're able to really parlay into making people, be part of the process with it, and it's quite humbling.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. You matter. Thanks. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'll be seeing you quite a bit. Oh, God, yeah.
Me too, the very first time, first when he was in Vegas and we got him here. Yes. I love that one.
Yeah.
Thank you for your smile.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Yeah. He has been the model patient. So.
That's good.
She's a nurse. She's a nurse growing up. Yeah.
Well, see, I was a nurse, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's all on me on that, huh?
Oh, yes.
I bet.
Yeah.
How many years were you in nurse?
Oh, my, maybe 30 more, even though 30, 35.
This is there's too much press for to really admit this, okay? But this big tough guy right here was the biggest baby on vaccines and shots
Oh, yeah.
when he was a kid. So this beautiful little lady had to hold this little crybaby down, okay, to get his little shots.
It only hurts for a second.
Yeah. So now I purposely don't flinch when Zoe tries to shoot me shots, just because I want to keep my testosterone looking good. just to be materializing is really an early Christmas miracle.
I mean, this thing's to be really got.
It's been a long